Oh, you said it's late.
Deeds called and said he's gonna be late,
But still, it's only Friday, so
and Bolden, you said, is not gonna be here, right?
he's in Texas. His grandmother's
Oh, no, that's sad.
Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. We will go ahead and get started with our city council meeting. Councilmember Ray, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you once again for blessing us to come together, for putting your arms around, bless us in all we undertake to do in righteous. Praying that you give us wisdom and knowledge to take care of business for the city of Jacksonville and its residents. In the name of Jesus, we ask and pray, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all. You may be seated. Good evening and welcome to the March 21st City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. McCleary. Sansing. Ray. Mashburn. Moss.
Here.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines.
Here.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I have 3 absent, sir.
All right, we have a quorum, so we are good to go. Before you, you have the minutes from our March 7th meeting. Be familiarizing yourself with those for next time. And also, you have the minutes from the February 1st meeting, so I'll entertain a motion to accept those as printed and given to you.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of adopting the minutes from February 1st, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay? All right, thank you very much. You've also had your consent agenda sent to you. Entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Ray and Councilmember Raines, second. So we've got a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? All right, thank you. Moving on along now. Councilmember Twitty, sponsoring a presentation tonight. Tell us about it.
What do you want to know? I have 2 ladies here from Sherry Oliver from Oliver's Antique, if you want to come up, Sherry, and Karen from Double R. We have a presentation they would like to. Mhm. Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, you're good right there. It's fine.
Yeah. You-
We probably won't need a mic.
Oh, well, you can have a seat, or you will, because we have, it's a recording.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name's Karen. This is Sherry. If you guys don't know, we have Double R Florist here in Jacksonville and have had for 60 years. Lots of problems going on in the last few years. I've filled out more police reports than I care to in the last couple of years due to various individuals in town, some of which I can identify daily walking our streets, some of which, most of which I have seen panhandling at one time or another. Front of Come and Go is the couple that has the brown dog. They stopped traffic on Main Street one day having an argument. Recorded that. I have photos of damage. I have videos of damage, people going through things. Broad daylight, they're kicking and destroying my property, and I'm just trying to beautify the city. Now, on the 13th of March, I sent an email or a text with a photograph of a sign I saw in another town. Sent it to all the council members, and I'd like to thank the ones that did respond. I believe it was Bolden, Sansing, Twitty, and Hinman. Thank you for that. I asked for support in encouraging the town to erect those signs in various areas that would possibly prohibit some of this from happening or keep it from happening and stop something from going on. If people wouldn't give some of this money at the red lights, I feel like it would deter them from trying to do that. If you ask any one of those people, what can I go buy you at the store? They won't tell you. They want your money. They don't want food or water or anything like that. Some may, most don't. So I'm here just to ask for your support. I'd like to see those signs go up. I have examples of those. If you want to see photos, Tired of it, tired of trying to beautify my business in the front, tired of people coming through and ripping everything out I've spent money on, breaking pottery, breaking everything, leaving a mess, constructing things behind my building so that they can have a place to sleep or use the restroom. Tired of it happening in my town. We've had this conversation a couple of times with other people, and I don't wanna do it myself.
Emily, could you show the videos of what she's talking
I brought I brought a picture of the sign if you want to see that. I sent it, but I don't know if it's gonna be.
about? Yes, we have it here. So this is the sign here.
I'd like to say
There's
it,
the
Ms.
sign.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I got your photo,
She has it down?
I got your, email, I got all your stuff, and, I feel your pain. And I said personally, I thought I might go out there and be a security, but we're gonna let our police chief trying to talk about that too, when he get up before
Well,
we,
they've
I
got
said
their
too
hands
much.
full for sure. These are just various photos of individuals. That's at your
yeah.
place.
Is that one you're sharing?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Sherry's.
The story behind that is, we usually take our trash out in the afternoons. We didn't one afternoon because it was raining. Carried it out the next morning. It was all neat around my dumpster, just like I left it. About 4:30 that afternoon, I go to take the trash out. 3/4 of everything that was in my dumpster was from my building to the dumpster, from the dumpster to the lawyer's office next door. I go out there to figure out what's going on, and this gal pops out of the back of the dumpster. And I said, well, I'm not gonna tell you what I said, but I said something close to, what are you doing in my dumpsters? And she said, I'm getting stuff out of it. And I said, but what about all this stuff outside of it? And she said, oh, I didn't do that. And I said, well, who else is in there with you? As I'm dialing the police department. She was she was on something, she had to be. But anyway, the police did get there right away. I stood there with her, I gave her a dustpan and a broom and a shovel, and told her that it would be to her advantage to have that mess cleaned up before they got there. But they did respond, and they found a knife in her pocket. I mean, I don't know if she was doing that to cut stuff open, or if she was gonna get somebody with it or not. But anyway, they took her to jail. We've had another guy, my store's small, it's comfortable and cozy, and I have really good staff. One of my staff called me one afternoon and said, there's a really scary guy in here. He smells, it's the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life, and he looks awful. I said, I'll be right there. I don't know what I was gonna do, but I was gonna be there. So, as I get there, he's leaving, and I said, well, take a good look at him. If you see him again, coming this direction, you can just go over and lock the door. You don't have to let him in. 2 weeks later, she calls and she says, you know that guy? I said, yeah. She said, he's on the front porch and he's causing a disturbance. And he had I pulled up about that time, and he had a box of stuff, and he was going through it on my front porch. In the meantime, I've got ladies coming to shop. They pull up, get out, see this person, and it frightened them, and they leave. So, I lost business over that. We just need some help. Now, like I said, the police have been very good about getting
Yeah.
there, but my biggest deal is, I had security cameras, and guess what? They disappeared. I have a security light from Entergy right at the back of my store. Evidently, that's not enough, so I just spent another big chunk of money putting a security light right there on the side. So the lawyer had a problem with his security cameras, so now he's moved his to inside. They shine on my building. One night, I got 5 videos of people coming from like the Edwards Shopping Center, and they cut beside his building, and that's where they all go to the bathroom, there in my building, and then they cut down between me and him. Some of them stop and go to the dumpster, some of them just hang out, and then some of them walk across the front and kick stuff I've got out there and
Yeah,
beat
that
it
happened
up.
not too long to me.
Yeah,
This
so,
is not good.
we just need some help.
Was
I-
that yellow dumpster your dumpster?
Is it yellow? I think it's yellow.
Yes, it's yellow.
Can you back that one up?
Yes.
That one is at yours, Karen?
That's the second recent. That was broad daylight. Lauren heard a noise and said, is that guy kicking my stuff? And I went running out there, and he was already up the street. busted several pots. I don't know why. And that particular individual, we've had removed from that very sidewalk. I didn't know if he was dead or alive one morning, and I called the police, and they came right away, of course. And they were aware of this individual, knew who he was. I rolled back the footage, and he sat down about 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, these people really made me mad. They started stealing stuff. We had just put all of that in, and he'll try to take the whole thing here in a minute, but.
You got him on.
Yeah, this is a different couple. This is at like 1:45 Sunday morning, but the other guy,
It's the folks with dogs.
no, sir. The people with the dog I don't think I sent that video in, actually. They weren't doing anything to my property. I just was out there taking photos when this happened, and I heard a commotion. And it's a female and male, and he had the brown dog with the kind of short hair, kind of a reddish brown, and she was yelling at him across the street to bring back her you-know-what dog, and then they had the argument in front of light change, and traffic came, and they were in the, I have the video on my phone, and then those are the ones, because the guy with the backpack,
The blue backpack.
that evening, I left work, drove down this direction, and that couple and the gentleman with the backpack were down here panhandling in front of Come and Go. And I called JPD again, and they came. I said, I've got eyes on the guy that kicked everything and tore up, everything in the front of the building, and they took care of it, and I trespassed him now and got his name. And he'll be taken care of if he ever shows back up and we catch him,
I want to tell you that we, not only Jacksonville, all other cities have the same kind of problem we have. And I came home from the gym one morning at 7 o'clock. I came back at 9. The guy had emptied a whole truck of trash right across the street, almost in front of my house. Just dumped it out there on the ditch. I dumped it out there in the ditch. People just it's terrible, honey, terrible.
Fix that.
No, and I'm not saying we're the only.
Hold on, can fix that.
I go to church in North Rock. Go to church one Sunday morning. I'm the janitor. I get there first. I'm the maintenance man.
And then just keeps walking.
Somebody sleeping on my steps at the street, and when the police came, oh, she got so bad she ready to fight. She didn't want to move. I'm comfortable
Well,
in my base.
something that I've noticed is 9 times out of 10, when we do call the police, and like I said, they get there on time and usually cart the person at least off our property, but they know these people by name. It's the same people. And they do. They'll say, yeah, that's so-and-so, so-and-so, and you're
What you
thinking,
gonna do with them?
well, I don't know.
Oh,
But
that's
you
what
know,
we trying to find out. How we gonna do about it?
That's why we're here. What are we gonna do about it?
The videos that were shown from, I guess, Karen, from your sidewalk, can see in those 5 different individuals, I believe.
think-
Or is it 3 different?
There was a couple all dressed in black, and then the gentleman or the young man with the blue backpack.
Okay.
Now, he was a 2-time offender. That's the one that was passed out on our sidewalk that morning. I won't approach them because I don't know, A, if they're dead or alive, B, if they're gonna wake up and get crazy.
These individuals from this video, Chief, do we know
Hold on,
who they
That's-
are?
Kicks the one at the end.
I can tell you if you don't. I should have brought that report.
And then just keeps walking. I don't understand.
You want it?
Battery.
Hit him.
You want this one?
Yeah, yes, sure. They're pretty sensitive. What'd you ask?
The individuals are in those videos that we just
The one
witnessed. Do you know?
that kicks, I can't tell who that is. I don't know, my officers probably do, because they do know them. They know them all, they know them well. The 2 that stole the flowers out, they all know them, they identified them right away. We don't normally do this because it's a problem, because they've had such a problem. I told, the shift that was on today has gotten warrants for them. They're seeking warrants anyways. The judge is out this week, so it'll be next week before she signs the warrant. So we're getting, that one right there, we're getting warrants for those 2. I don't know if they got for criminal mischief, for vandalism, or theft. I'm not sure which one they did, but it's one of those. It's 50-50 on whether or not the prosecutor will give us video off of just, or give us warrants off of video. It depends on what it is. In this case, they all knew them and they did it, so, we'll probably have those warrants next week. Those two there are homeless, the one she's talking about with the brown dog, that lady. I can't remember her name, she's there all the time, she lives at the Jacksonville Inn, she has a room at the Jacksonville Inn. The other guy there is her boyfriend. They're from Jacksonville. They have an apartment, a room. These two right here, not that one, I don't know who that is. My officers will know who that is. The two that ripped out the flowers, they're homeless. And they've been here a while.
The other guy that you don't know, on the paperwork that I got, he listed his address as homeless. The other guy, not these two.
The one that was kicking?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't see his face, but I'm sure the officers know who he is.
Hey, put your mic up, please.
Yeah, turn it down for me.
Hear me now? So, Chief, I know a lot of cities is having this, because I'm a cable guy and I see, know a little about you, I see it everywhere. Do we have like a number count of like, because I know from when, like, we all noticed that we have a situation to now, do you have like a number of how many folks are here in this in that?
We do a number of homeless here. We do the point in time count CDBG does every year. She had a decent count last time. I don't know what it is. I'll have to ask her. But
Michelle?
I see that some of them are from Jacksonville and they're homeless. They've lived here, been in Jacksonville 40-something years or less. Some of them are transient. So I see some faces the first time I've ever seen them, never see them again. I see people walking down 167 with a backpack on. You can tell they don't have much. They come through town, you never see them again. They just keep moving sometimes. Sometimes they stay a day or two and they move on. So it's both. It's hard to get a count on that. Main areas are about Walmart over there, and then we have the ones on Main Street are the ones that are local to Jacksonville, have been here a long time. Those are the same faces over and over.
So.
A lot of the foot traffic also, I see is people that live at the Jacksonville Inn, which is the old Ramada. There's two buildings there, Jacksonville Inn and Eagle Suites. Both are cheap hotel rooms, basically. We do have a lot of problems there. There's a lot of drug activity, violence, and other stuff that goes on. So I see a lot of people from there that walk through town because that's the way they get around.
So let me summarize, make sure that everybody appears on the same page. Do I hear you correct in basically wanting a request for us to look at putting up, like the example of the sign of encouraging people to not give to panhandlers? I know we cannot put up signs saying no, you can't do it because they're protected by the Supreme Court and the First Amendment.
Read all that.
So, but you would like for us to consider doing something like this to discourage or the behavior of people giving to them to
Yes,
help
sir.
discourage
I think
their.
it's a start. I
Okay.
think it's someplace to start. I mean, like we said, this is not the only city that has the problem, but I believe if we start somewhere, it's a beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and it may help.
It's a beginning, but we won't be able to enforce it, but it may help.
And to that point, Councilperson Raines brought this point up a few months ago about dealing with the homeless challenge that we have, and we discussed the fact that there are with liability issues. I think the county is working on something, so I think this it's not a new issue. Again, as Councilperson Raines brought up, figuring out exactly how we deal with it.
Go ahead.
Okay. I can just tell you that my constituents are very uncomfortable with a lot of these people in town. I tell them that they are protected by the courts to do that. However, I see absolutely nothing wrong with placing signs like this, though I would like to see give to a local charity in much bolder letters, because I would very much encourage, and I want people to understand, if they give the money to a local charity, then some of these people can go to a good local charity and maybe stop panhandling. The whole point of the sign like this that I think is missed because of the stuff is giving to a local charity, not to the panhandlers. And I think there is nothing wrong with the sign as long as give it to a local charity is much bolder.
Yeah.
And we have our own sign shop in town, so we don't have to depend on anybody else's templates.
Councilmember Raines, you were about to say something.
Yes, I wanted to first clarify because while yes, we did get a group text message, it is known that any two members are not supposed to talk about past, present, or potentially future city business. And so out of respect for you guys, I didn't respond. But I did see it, I did watch the videos, and as Councilmember Moss has mentioned, I am concerned about this issue, and one thing that you mentioned is a start. And a couple of months ago, I presented to the council to establish a committee to go over this, and that would be comprised of both business owners like yourselves as well as our community at large. And I think that that is so important. And I think that it is important for us to clearly look at the bigger picture, because unfortunately what you're bringing up here is the tip of the iceberg. And we do have a lot of work that's being done with the CDBG, with the Nixon Library. They have monthly meetings, and I would highly encourage you to go to those. I tried to go to them. I know that I've seen some of our councilmen and mayor there as well. But I would also like to hear from Michelle, since this is, you know, her thing, you know.
Ms. Spencer, or would you like to approach, please? And do we currently have, or what were our last homeless count numbers?
Last year we did a street count with Jacksonville, and it was probably about 30 people at that time. This year was only a shelter count for all the shelters across the nation, so we didn't get that data. However, the influx of individuals coming into the city is just the overflow of Little Rock, North Little Rock, and they're just meandering out into the outskirts. I would say and really agree with Councilmember Raines that we need a audience of people concerned to make a change in how we actually, you know, deal with our homeless. We can't criminalize them. We have to accept that they are here. We need resources. I sit on the board for the Central Arkansas Teen Care for the Homeless, and I am making every effort to get all the resources we can get over in our area, because Jacksonville gets left out. When I was in Little Rock, I noticed that from jump with Teresa Watson, and there was a push to get the resources to cover all of Pulaski County, not just Little Rock, North Little Rock. So I think we need to really reach our resources and bring them in to be able to help with the need, because it's not going to go away. It's going to increase.
Council members, do y'all have any other questions for these ladies sitting here?
I mean, I think we all can say that we hate it. It makes me sad. I know how hard y'all work, and I have bought property downtown, and I'm waiting to build there. But I hear you. I'd love to do whatever we could to help you. If it's post the signs to start a beginning, maybe have it in the newspaper. These panhandlers, I've talked to some of the police officers, and they probably make more money than we do. So.
Not the police officer.
The panhandlers.
Panhandlers.
But I don't know that people realize that panhandlers and homeless people, there's a difference. And we don't need to support the panhandlers that, again, are probably making a really good living doing that.
I'd like to say that I got time now, and I'll make my committee one I thought about. I'd ride downtown all the time, And I be counting the people that's on the street. Anybody notice the lady in the white coat? She out there every morning out there, but she don't be panhandling. She go to the store, but she's standing out in front of the place talking to herself and things like that. But I noticed several, and I'm gonna keep an eye on them from now on. And I'm gonna make my committee one. If they in the wrong place at the wrong time, I'm gonna get over and say something to them.
You stay up late?
Try to come up with something. Something got to try to discourage them, cause it's hard to discourage them, cause I've gone through it with my church in North Little Rock, and it's just hard to discourage them. Like they said, they use the bathroom anywhere. You walk in the back of the church and spots everywhere. You know, that kind of thing. You know.
I don't think Councilmember Ray sleeps.
Is that the secret?
He's constantly.
We'll do our best to support that.
Thank you.
So keep them.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I had a question on what city that sign was from, actually.
Cabot.
Cabot?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
There's more than one, too.
Right,
More
yeah,
than one
no. I wasn't sure, but I was pretty sure. But thank you so much for your guys' presentation and, you know, all of the effort and intention that you guys are putting into this. It is a big problem that the city does need to address. And however we start, you know, I think that a committee for this issue is important.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
as was pointed out, there is a distinctive difference between the homeless and the panhandlers. If people adhere to follow the signs and give to the good charities in town, it will help the homeless. And it may encourage some of the panhandlers to move on the way. But what do we need to do to make these signs happen ASAP?
Two ways of going about it. One, generally, that is a call that I could just make, you know, hey, tell our sign shop, we're gonna do this, and here's where we're gonna put them. Since they have come before council bringing this as a concern, it would be better now coming from the council to say that you are in support of moving forward with these. We're not prepared for any type of ordinance or resolution, and that's not required in this situation. But a positive vote of affirmation of support in moving forward to have the signs created and put at strategic places in town would be the appropriate action.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I'd like to make a
Better
motion.
safe than sorry.
I'd like to make a motion to move forward on the signs.
Second.
All right, Councilmember Twitty, Councilmember, who was it who said that? Sansing said, I heard a voice over here. First is, all in favor of support for going forward with the production of signs and placement in strategic areas of town, please let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. One nay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like for this to be clear that I don't think that a Band-Aid fix for this issue is going to take care of the problem.
Well, I will say this isn't the fix.
No,
This is just a first step, addressing their initial concern tonight. But I am open for us creating, or whoever wants to volunteer or serve on a committee to work towards this and bringing about, hopefully, a creative solution to aid the people of our town that are in need of this, and also to assist the citizens and the rest of our town that unfortunately fall victim, as y'all have, to crime generated from it. It's a catch-22. We want to support both sides. We want to help everybody, but it's the fine line of how do we go about doing it. I know Councilmember Ray has said he's interested in helping. Councilmember Raines, I'm assuming you are interested in doing that. So anybody who wants to help take part, and it's not just council members, this would be any citizen. Anybody from the public who wants to help and become a part of the solution is welcome to come and let us know, and we can see what we can do. Do I have is there a volunteer from the council members who wants to run point as far as helping spearhead this?
I don't mind spearheading this.
Okay.
I appreciate everything that the CDBG does, and I think that they need support, and I think that this is the first step in us as legislators up here to support her in whatever it looks like in the future.
Okay. With that being said, I would put the open invitation out if there is anybody who wishes to take part in this. Like I said, from council members to general public, please contact Susan or council member. Actually, I'm gonna say contact Susan. Let her know, and then she will disseminate that information and get it to Councilmember Raines, and then all the appropriate people at that point in time, and she can put together a list for that.
I'm curious, Karen, talking about the neighboring city have put these signs up, have they told you that it has deterred? I mean, did you hear
I've not
anything?
talked to anyone directly about whether the signs had deterred. I know that they were in high traffic areas that were shopping areas. I guess that's why they mentioned the keep the change kind of thing. It was in kind of those areas. I know you probably can't do it on the intersections of a highway where people are, I don't know, I'm sure Come and Go would welcome one, you know, of their own, but I've not spoken to anyone other than one individual that said they had noticed an increase in people roaming around Cabot as well lately. We were just kind of discussing the general problem.
Chief Hibbs, have you, in your professional dealings with other cities, other chiefs, have you discovered anything, any findings, any words that they've been able to share?
The Cabot says the signs made no difference whatsoever. The panhandlers stand under the signs, people still give them money. All it did was give people more to complain about.
So,
Because let's make note that ultimately, if we do make these signs, that is coming from our budget, which is coming from the taxpayers. And like, again, we don't know if those signs are going to help or if it's going to be a Band-Aid or if it's not going to do anything at all. And I think that making an informed decision is so important.
ladies,
Can I put up my own sign? I'll buy my own. I'll buy it.
I'll
You know,
help
I
pay
can't
for it.
afford
yeah,
$50,000
no,
to fence the
that,
entire
yeah,
property. I'd rather
that's
pay a
that's
couple
already been
$100 for this sign.
agreed upon, so that's taken. We're going to wrap this portion up in just a second. Councilmember Ray?
I'd like to say, when I said I feel your pain, in South Jacksonville, we still have the same problem too, because I can get up in the morning, and when I look out on my back porch, somebody might be sitting there. It's been several times in the last 5 years, somebody's sitting there. I got a pair of shoes on my back porch where the person pulled them off and slept on my back porch. I come out in the morning time to go to the gym at 6 o'clock. I'm supposed to run over somebody. Somebody sleeping under the fire plug in the grass in my neighborhood, honey. So I feel your pain there because it's all the time. You gotta be very careful when you're driving out because you're supposed to run over somebody else on the side of the road somewhere. That's in South Jacksonville where it's not heavily populated.
Mr. Mayor.
So I feel your pain.
I'd like to, just as a reminder, the signs are not enforceable, it's a suggestion for people to help with the problem.
Correct.
Right, so it may or may not make any difference, so don't call code enforcement or the police when people are still getting money, because we're not gonna do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's a suggestion and it's to help put the word out, basically is what it is.
I'd like to say one more thing, though.
Yes, ma'am.
The two ladies that are here tonight that have businesses in our town, they have come before our committee that we had formed earlier, I guess last year. And so this may not work, but as business owners, they're asking us to do something. And so I don't think it's going to be that big of a cost because we have our own sign shop here. We have these ladies and some of us council members that are willing to pay for it otherwise. But I think if we have citizens that have had great damage to their properties, I think it's wise that we did pass the signs and to try to get them up as soon as possible for these ladies and others, businesses. There's not just these two people that I hear from. So,
Well,
These two people, though, in their businesses, I'm gonna say this, I mean, they've been long time businesses.
yes.
Almost forever in Jacksonville. I thank y'all so much for doing that and staying there. I mean, both y'all, Double R's been there forever, and of course, Oliver, and, I mean, it's people like you that make this town, so anything we can do to help you, I think we need to do it.
Thank you.
And the biggest thing I'd like to do is get lighted up downtown. Out
There we
let's get
go.
the lights all the way down like we talked about for a year and a half.
It's not too bad in front of us.
Light it up.
It's not too bad in front of us.
Sherry, Karen, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for being here.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you for your
Thank y'all.
concern.
I can get up, I just don't want to keep the microphone.
No, this evening we have no appointments. Any new business? Any unfinished business? All right, if not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. A motion and a second. We're adjourned. Thank you. Y'all have a great night.